Hi, it's Annie from Vintage Lace Journal, and we're here again for another Tag Time Tuesday. Now, today I'm going to be showing you a different method. So we're going to be using some mixed media today. On a couple of my short videos I've used mixed media, and they're well received, well liked. So I thought I'd give a slower version of how I actually create these. And a good example of this is if I just grab my Junk Journal July. One of the tags I made from in here, this is obviously mixed media, it's got that paste on it, and I made this tag. So it's got lots of different layers on there, shimmer paints. So it's going to be something quite similar to this that we're going to make today. So what we're going to be using is, I've got two different types of pastes. I've got this one, which is a Stamperia cream paste, and then I've got this one, which is a Pebeo modelling paste. This is just plain white because we're then going to colour this one, whereas this one is already gold. Okay, another couple of things I'm going to be using is these little small stencils I've got. These ones are from Creative Expressions, and they're called mini stencils. This one's called Grateful. I didn't keep the wrappings to these ones, so I'm trying to start to keep some of my wrappings so I can remember what things are when I want to obviously let you guys know what I'm using, because people often ask and I don't remember. So those are those things I'm going to use there. And then I've just got some music paper and this nice bee paper that I'm going to use as well. Okay, so let's get started. So to make my tags, I've just used bog standard packaging. So this was just from something that came in the post, and I've just cut out my tags here. Okay, so first of all I'm going to use my tag creator. I'm using an old card, store card, to create my different size little tabs, and I use them to create my corners. So popping it on, measuring up the sides again, and at the top, a little snip. And same with the second tag. So lining up the top and the side, and then just turning it over so I'm using the same part on the other side. There we go. So there we've created our two tags. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cover these first with paper, and then I'm going to make the tags over the top of that. So I'm just going to pop down some glue stick onto these. So cover all the surfaces with the glue. And this is perfectly sticky enough just to put down backing paper on. So first one I'm going to use this bee paper. So I'm just going to try and line that up on the corner. Then there's less wastage. There we go, so give that a good stick down. And then secondly, I'm going to use some music paper. So again, just get my tag. I'm going to pop that on there. So now I can just cut round these tags, and that's given them that backing. So that's the first one. Music paper is brilliant, gives a nice clear background for any kind of backing things. Okay, there's the music one. So just pop these out of the way. Okay, so I'm not going to punch my holes yet. I'm going to do all of my mixed media art first, because obviously I don't know where my layer is going to go, so there's no point me keep punching holes and repunching them. So I'm just going to leave these two as they are. Now the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the white modelling paste. So I've got this one here. So you place the stencil onto your tag, and it doesn't matter that it's going over the edges, or it doesn't matter that it's not covering certain places, because obviously it just doesn't matter. It's just giving you a kind of background. So I'm just going to take the lid off my Pebeo. think it's glued itself shut. Oh, gosh, that's hard to come off. And then inside you've got this white paste. Now what you will need is one of these, which is a spatula, probably a proper name for it. Okay. Now, holding your stencil down, you can put sticky on if you want it. If you want to, I'm just quite happy to just hold this with my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to come in to my paste and get a fair amount on your spatula. Okay, because you are going to spread it through here. Okay, so keep just picking up a bit more at a time, spreading through all the way down the sides and onto the bottom. Take off the excess. We're just going over one more time. Just going to miss that little bit there. Okay, and then very slowly from one corner peel up your stencil. Okay, and there we have that lovely stencil with a mixed media modelling paste, and as you can see it's slightly raised. Okay, I'm going to put that one side to dry, and I'm just going to wipe my spatula with a tissue and put my lid back on. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing this time. So I'm going to get the tag, and I've got this kind of like bee honeycomb shape, which I think will go quite nice with the bees underneath. And then I'm going to come in with my gold paste. And again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing on here. Where this is opened. So that's my gold paste. So again, lining up that stencil. And then grabbing some onto your spatula and just pulling it down the stencil. This is slightly thinner as a paste Stampiri one. It's not as thick, but it does the job perfectly. Again, making sure you've gone on over all of the parts. Wipe off the excess. And again, very carefully release that. It has smudged there because I just caught that. But it's okay because we can cover that up with something in a little while. So there we go. Lovely gold textured paste onto there. Now you can heat dry these. I find sometimes if you heat dry these, they do bubble. So I'm going to let these air dry, and then I'm going to come back to show you the next stage. So these have now dried, just air dried in a window, and you can see it's got that gorgeous shiny gold paste on there and this subtle white paste on here. Now I'm going to do this one first, so with the white paste, and I've chosen to do a theme on here to do with some birds. I've got these birds from the Junk Journal Studio, so there's absolutely masses of them. And you obviously, this is a digital download, so you download them and obviously print them out. So I've chosen a little bird to go onto this one. So before I do that, I'm going to do some inking. So first of all, I'm going to ink the edges. So just using a distress ink, just pop around the edges just to lift that colour. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I have got this distress ink which I bought to re-ink one of my pads. This is tea dye. Now you can drip this on. This is actually quite thick. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. But yeah, it's quite a thick consistency. So a bit thicker, I'd say, obviously than water. What I've done is I've taken some of that, a few drops of that, and sprayed it in here with some water. So all I've got in here is a Cosmic Shimmer bottle just with water, and then some of the distress ink drops in there. I'm just going to get myself my splat background. So I use this when I'm doing anything messy like this. This bottle has been playing up, so I'm hoping it's going to work. I'm just going to spray this directly onto here and just let that drip and run. Okay. And what you'll notice is the white pattern of that paste now. There we go. So again, just let that do the wiggle, and I'm just going to put that to one side to dry. Okay. So that works really well. If you want a more thicker consistency, you can actually just drop the ink drops directly on there. I'm just going to wipe my hands. So while that's drying, I'm going to go back to this one. And I have actually got a gold ink. These are from Deco Time. It's a UK brand called Tuscan Gold. So I'm just going to take the ink pad directly to the edges of this. If I can find the links to these, I'll pop them underneath the video. There we go. So just gone around the edge of that just to lift the edges in that gold as well. Now what I'm going to start to do is layer the layers up onto here. So I am now at the stage where I can actually put my hole in here. So thinking about that, probably needs to go roughly about there. Okay, so I popped my hole in, and next. So with the gold tag, I'm going to be using some printables from Pink Monarch Designs to layer these up. And I've used some Collall 3D glue, which you put on the back of things and it kind of like raises the top up. So first of all, I'll put a foam pad on the back of this one. And I'm going to pop that in there. And then again, just squish some of this 3D glue onto the back of the bee and put that there. And I've got some, I'm going to put that underneath on the ticket, and a little, this is from Junk Journal Studio. They've got again loads of little tickets, not this one, this is from a paper pad. Use a mixture of things, I get kind of confused. Okay, so I've just layered up those on there, and then finally I've got a piece of gold ribbon that I'm just going to pop through my hole. Just line those top bits up. My little bee's antenna. And then thread that through. There we go. And just trim off those at an angle. There we are. So that's our first mixed media tag. So you've got paper background, you've got the Stamperia cream paste on top, and then some layering up with some bits and pieces from various digital kits. So I'm going to bring this one back in now, and as you can see, that's got the nice sort of kind of staining on here. Then you've got the dark edge around there. So I'm going to come in and pop my hole roughly about there. There we go. So for this one, oh, I tell you what I didn't do on this one as well, just while I remember, is just to put my sentiment, which I've got here. Just going to snip that and put that across the clock. You have to be careful with this gel because it does move until it actually fully dries. There we go. That's finished there. The most beautiful thing. There we go. Sorry. Anyway, back to this one. So it has dried with that kind of like splattered effect onto it, which I quite like. And what I'm going to do onto this one now is, again, I'm going to layer up some of these things. So this is one of the birds I've cut from Junk Journal Studio. So again, I'm just going to put some of this 3D gel onto the back to lift it. do is lifting that off the page, so push it down gently onto there. There we go. And then again, I've got these big box of lovely labels. So it's just a question of going through and finding one that you like. It takes me ages. Too big. Tip them out, have a good look. This is the thing with these labels, you just get so many of them. You can obviously just print, and I quite like that. So just pop this on with some tacky glue. There we go. And there's a tiny bit of red in here, so I'm just going to very lightly, just around the edges, and not all over, just every now and again, just pop round with a little bit of red ink, just to lift that colour and to match in the colour of the red kind of comb of the bird. So it's not all the way round, it's not thick red, it's just a very, very slight bit just to pick up some of that red in there. Okay. And again, I've just got another one of these labels. Where should we put this? So snip it in half. And I'm just going to put a little bit of extra glue on these labels, just because I've got different media to stick to. And I know if I put this tacky glue on, that it'll really, really stick well. There we go, that's a nice simple one that time. So again, this was obviously just a piece of card. We put the music background on, we layered up with a modelling paste through a stencil, and then we've just got some of those lovely bits and pieces from the Junk Journal Studio and Pink Monarch prints. Now again on here, I've got a piece of the gold lace ribbon. It's quite small, I'm hoping this is going to be big enough to do the trick. Yeah, perfect. There we go. So there we have our Tag Time Tuesday for today. So 2 different mixed media tags, completely different effects, but you're obviously using the same kind of techniques on there. So I hope you enjoyed today's Tag Time Tuesday, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!